Welcome back, everyone, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. This is our continuing Confederate campaign. We have just completed Industrialization 2. It's October 24th of 1861, and we are now able to look at another policy. I desperately need to open up our ability to recruit new troops, so we're going to go for the Militia Act 3. It'll take 35 days, but that will increase our pool by quite a bit, and that should allow me to recruit those remaining patron units we haven't already been able to recruit. I've got some men coming for Sweet's Army of the Florida-Georgia Line. He's got 3,000 men right now. I don't know that that is enough to take Fort Pickens, although Fort Pickens only has 250 men. He's going to have 9,000, though. So we're going to go ahead and make a move on Fort Pickens. That's the only Union fort in this Gulf region here that is controlled by them. Watkins withdrawing. The Army of the Potomac's under a guy named Watkins. Well, that's interesting. That's my wife's maiden name. I'm not feeling real great about that. But we've got the Army of the Chesapeake, 20,000 strong. Department of Pennsylvania, about 20,000 strong. Army of Northeastern Virginia, 20,000 strong. There's 60,000 men right there. I really feel like it's time we've got to be able to... And then the Army of the Potomac up here with 25,000. So we've got Joe Johnston with 20,000 men there. I feel like we're going to have to pull him back until we can get some more recruits and we can match their numbers somewhat. Who do we get back? Colonel Simon Buckner has returned from his wounds. So I need to keep the Army of the Shenandoah and the Army of Northern Virginia as close as possible while he makes a move. I'm also, while we wait for all of this to happen... I'm going to make a move as well with the Army of Virginia, 6,000 strong under Horatio Whipple, and see if we can't go down here. And first things first, I want to build a fort right here on the James River Peninsula. This is like Yorktown would be in this area here. And then we want to go after Fort Monroe. Sweet's Army of the Florida-Georgia Line is preparing their siege. In the meantime, oh man, I was hoping. The Army of the Shenandoah did not get there. Oh no, they're actually the ones that are running into the battle with the Army of the Chesapeake. We are not going to have the Army of Northern Virginia available for support, however. So this is going to be a challenge. 43,000 men against 27,000. We're going to have our hands full here. We've got 9 hours before he gets his second army, though. Okay, so the good news is that we can deploy it about halfway through, and he's going to be coming in from Centerville. We've got 9 hours. It's morning, so we've got most of daylight to make a move on him, and we can try and smash his army before the reinforcements arrive. So I'm going to try to load up as close to the road as I can and see if we can't really be aggressive here and make something happen. We're going to have to put everybody on this road going over the bridge, though. Which I'm not real crazy about that, but actually we could put Early over here and have him take an alternate route, and maybe do the same with Pickett this way. So let's do that. Okay, so our cavalry has made it as far as Grigsby's farm, and still no sign of the Yankees. So I'm going to assume that they're all the way back near Centerville waiting on their reinforcements. And I'm going to be aggressive here and push forward with all divisions as best I possibly can. Just so I can give myself the best chance to hit him before his reinforcements arrive. I've got about 8 hours till that happens. All right, well, no sooner had I issued the new orders than I spotted Van Cleve's brigade coming down the road. We're going to send the cavalry up here to hold that spot while we issue some fresh orders to our divisions. Although actually I think we're okay. Looks like I hadn't extended past that spot with my orders. So I think we'll go ahead and hold the orders that we've got for the time being. We're not going to try to bunch everybody up on this little crossing right here. I'd rather dig in on the high ground just beyond the creek and hit him as he's coming across. But I do want to slow them down with the cav if I can. They're still following their initial orders, which was to cross and head up there. And I can't stop them in time. But they do have a standing order for evade, which means that they won't. They should back off rather than continuing to advance once they make contact. There we go. I'll actually go ahead and hold them there for now. We've got mixed cav weapons, as all my cavalry do, unfortunately. But we're converging with all divisions on this spot, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. Just got to hold for as long as I can. I don't know how long Stuart's cavalry is going to hold here. They'll hold for a little while, but eventually they'll break. I've already taken 100 casualties. Our lead brigade's coming up under Preston. To the sound of the guns, boys. To the sound of the guns. Oh, I got a division that's back that far. I gotta tell Zollikoffer to move up. I'm actually gonna move him up right to the creek, and then I'll probably do the same with some of the others if I have to. Although I kind of prefer to hold them back. The creek does offer some protection, so it might not be a bad place to have an army. Alright, so let's issue fresh orders. I think I would like to make that change. We'll send Pickett up on this side. We may be able to flank with him. Because I'm definitely going to have to push this if they don't engage me. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull him back. I'd rather not have him break, though he may when he goes to pull out of here. We've got our first troops up on the line now. Hold the artillery back, plop it up on this hill right here. Alright, here comes his order to withdraw. Jull's gonna be moving up here soon. I'm gonna go ahead and speed things along. Withdraw, dude, withdraw! Ugh. He's going to end up breaking rather than withdrawing. These guys don't have very much range. They've got mixed muskets, unfortunately. Yeah, Jull's brigade coming up. They've got Springfield muskets, so we're not looking at the best firepower available here. Artillery's having a rough time getting across the ground. All right, here's the Rex's Raiders under Benjamin Hardin Helm. Alright, Cav, pull back. Get out of there. We've got maybe 6-7 hours. Let's take a look. Oh, that's me. That doesn't help me. Let's look at the Union. 8 hours still. Okay, good. We've got time. Alright, Preston. Do your best here. Oh, would you pull your cav out already? I might just have to tell them to retreat, because otherwise they're going to break. Let's push Pemberton up. I want to get Jull up right here next to them. We'll push Wade Hampton into that spot. I want to bring Jones up over here, actually, if I can. Make sure everybody came up. They did. I didn't even grab any objective points because I wanted to go straight for his army. Got a bit of a overload here, so we're going to need to shift over. And I'm going to move these guys across just to kind of bridge this gap a little bit, so we can get some additional fire going. But we should be in good shape because we're engaging small amounts of his men. I'm a little worried about these guns, especially firing into Jull's flank right now. Alright, Hampton, get up there. And D.R. Jones's brigade's going to come in and be able to get on the rear of these guns, which I think is going to help. And get the Louisiana batteries right up here on the hill next to these ones. Alright, so far so good. We're throwing back his skirmishers over here. I don't see any additional forces, so I think it's probably safe to go ahead and push Pickett forward. Though I'm going to hold his guns right where they are. Alright, this is going to be good here. Because I really wanted to be able to get these guys firing on these guns. Come on, Hampton, get up there. Double time. Casualties should be pretty good right now in our favor. Yeah, they're actually pretty even. He's got the superior weapons, that's for sure. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. These guys started firing yet? He turned his guns. This is why I need you, Hampton, to hurry up. These guys just turned and are going to decimate Jones's brigade, who's already nervous. Come on, Hampton, get up there. Our brigades aren't exactly coordinating the best at the moment. I'm going to have to shift a little bit here because he's got another division up here that I hadn't previously seen. Yeah, darn it. See? They broke because of that artillery fire. Ugh. That hurts. That should have been coordinated better. If it had been, we would have decimated that battery. Instead, now he can turn again, and he may end up driving off 2 whole brigades. Because Hampton didn't get there in time. Darn it. That hurts. I don't know what's going on with Early's units. Is there a feud going on here? It doesn't appear there is. Their formations don't want to follow orders right into the right formation very well. Alright, Jones, I need you to recover quickly, because we're going to probably lose another brigade here. At least we're going to get some fire on them. But you can see they're already nervous, and just as quickly broke as the other one. Oh, that was brutal. What are these guns? And now they're going to fire on Jull. That's a problem. This attack has just not been well coordinated. This is what happens when I rush into battle trying to hurry up and finish a guy off. Ugh. My whole right flank just crumbled from Neil's guns. And it's going to be up to the left. These guys have better weapons anyway. They're tired, though. Fifth SFGA is doing really well so far. Pemberton's boys, not as well. They're taking a lot of casualties. I gotta get Rex's Raiders up into that spot there. try to rally Hampton. These are important battles because this is Northern Virginia, and if he drives me back, then he can kind of piecemeal my army. He can take this one out, and then he can take the other army out. Come on, Embry, get up there. Alright, he's charging in at 2 brigades here, so we're going to have an opportunity to get some nice fire on them. So that'll be helpful. Alright, McDowell just broke. That's very helpful. Because now we can get some more fire on this brigade. I want to at least try and get... I can't control Jones at all. We're going to have to send the cav over there to cover that flank. Need them to turn. Alright, he's going to charge again. That's what happens when you get the feud going here, which he has. Man, this is going to be a bloody battle. Alright, we broke McDowell again. Broke Williams. Gotta watch these guns. Now we're starting to see some more one-sided casualties. Let's speed things up a little bit. How's everybody doing? I don't see any major losses except Pemberton. Okay. Let's dismount. Come up and try to do something to these guns before Jull gets driven off too. Alright, we're pushing back. I gotta go for the guns. I can't stand here and take fire from another battery. Though he's got infantry support there. I'm sending 2 batteries at the gun, or 2 brigades at the guns. That's basically half of Pickett's division. The 3rd SFGA is going to get their first Pemberton's boys. They may break, but they'll drive them off. Alright, perfect. Alright, Pemberton broke, but he did his job. He drove off the guns. And he'll probably recover. Looks like he's going to rally. Perfect. Yep, they're out of here. They're pulling out. That did the job. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to drive him off before the 2nd Army could reinforce. That's exactly what happened. Perfect. I'm not going to push this, though. It was a good victory. Pretty one-sided in terms of the losses. I'm not going to get him up to 32%, so there's not a lot I can gain here. Alright. 1,800 losses, 5,400 inflicted casualties. We took out all his guns, which is the best part. I charged in after the guns afterward and really was able to nail them. So that was a very helpful win, coupled with the win against the other army that we had last time. Or was that the same army? I can't remember. Either way, we've won 2 victories in Northern Virginia in a row, and now we should be able to consolidate our 2 armies, which will give us better chances if he throws all of his armies at us at once. Right now, I'm just kind of in a holding pattern. I'm waiting until I pass that Militia Act 3, so I can start recruiting large bodies of troops that will allow me to cover all the ground in the south, and then I can start thinking about selective places to move north. But we took out, we defeated the Army of the Chesapeake there. So we're going to keep moving the Army of the Shenandoah. We want to get them right over here next to Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. That's about 60,000 men between the two that we'll have. Okay, let's take a look at the siege of Fort Pickens, which is right outside of Pensacola, Florida. He's got 249 men. I don't know exactly what our odds are right now. I thought it usually tells you that. But we do have more men coming. We've got 6,000 more men. Probability is the Union will win 55%. So we may not take it yet, but what we'll do is we'll come back at it when we have additional units, and we can improve our chances. All right, provisional president officially elected. Jefferson Davis elected to a 6-year term. Alexander Stephens, the vice president. We've got a food issue for our Western Army right now. We've got to get them up to the Springfield Depot, which is a level 3 depot, which can supply this entire force under McCulloch. But it also opens us up once again to attacks from the Department of the West, which combined can bring, once they're reinforced, upwards of 70,000 men at me. That's a problem. What are we looking at over here? I want to upgrade these Nashville depots to level 3 so we can get the Army of Tennessee ready to strike out north. We've also got the Army of Georgia over here under Breckinridge. He's only got 12,700 men right now, and we definitely need more in that supply depot. It's early in the war, and so we're still building up the infrastructure necessary to conduct these wars long term. The Army of Tennessee is all the way over in West Virginia with 37,000 men. If he's sending them over here as well, I could be in real trouble. Oh, man, I gotta have more men. Gotta have more men. He's got 215,000 in the field. We're up to 170. Are we even in the place where we can recruit additional? We've got 35,000 available, but not a whole lot from any one state. I'm waiting for that Militia Act to get passed and we can recruit the rest of our patron units. But in the meantime, I'm just going to add a few kind of generic units to get some more in the field. Simon Buckner's going to re-enter in command of a Tennessee brigade. Let's see what kind of new weapons, if any, we may have. I'm going to look at some of our units here. Danish unit, Tar Heels, they've all got decent units. What about cavalry? Hey, we've got some decent cav weapons. Finally, not many of them, but we've got a few. So we're going to start outfitting some of our cav with some better weapons. Let's start with the Army of Northern Virginia, because they're the most likely to be fighting right now. So a Sharps carbine here, a Maynard carbine here, and a couple of Smith carbines. Actually, we'll get one with Enfield musketoons, because those are long range. They've got 400-yard range. So we're starting to get some decent weapons coming in now. Even though I don't need to upgrade these guys, I am still curious to see what else we might have. Oh, we've got Sharps rifles for the first time. Not many, but one set of them anyway. Okay, the Army of Virginia is going to start building a fort here on the peninsula. Once they do that, we're going to use that as a base for maybe moving on Fort Monroe. Fort Monroe was held by the Union throughout the war, so it's not going to be easy, especially with him having these squadrons right off the coast there, that they could shell any of my troops to get close. I'm really nervous about this Army of the Tennessee and where they might be with their 37,000 men. Okay, so Sweet's Army of the Florida-Georgia line now has 9,000 men. They're having some issues with ammunition, and that goes back to the fact that they don't really have supply. So we're going to need to do something about that, but for the time being, it does not seem like the odds are real great for them. I'm going to try to actually do an assault here. The Trent Affair. Not entirely sure this is going to really work out for us. Yeah, it's going to last 11 days, and it's saying 72% chance the Union's going to win. So, not so great there. The Western Army has arrived at their supply depot. Army of Indiana, last we saw, these two armies were close, but that was a week ago. We really have no idea where they are. That is not a good thing. They could be absolutely anywhere. They could be on their way to Memphis, for all I know. And I've got the Missouri State Guard there with 15,000 men, but there's really nowhere for me to move them without being completely out of supply. I might go ahead and move them into northwest Tennessee here and then build a supply depot up there, because I'd really like to get at Cairo if possible. That's the junction of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. I don't really see anything from the Union anywhere in the west. I feel like I need to move north just to draw some of those armies away from Virginia. Disaster at Fort Pickens. That did not work out. I was afraid of that. So they're going to retreat back to Spanish Fort, to the Mobile area. It's probably best that I get them some supply anyway. Anyway, though, let's take a look here. We're going to move north, knowing I don't have much of a supply base here, which means I'm going to have to very slowly build my way north, building supply depots as I go. We could grab that one in Hopkinsville. And actually, there's some farms up here I'd like to have too, but anything that's going to draw his attention and maybe get him to not send all his armies to the east. I don't know where the Army of the Tennessee is. They could be anywhere. How'd the Army of the Shenandoah get behind me in Fredericksburg? There's no way he's got supply there. Alright, we're going to go after him though. We'll send the Army of Northern Virginia and our Army of the Shenandoah to hit him. Hopefully they can do it close enough at the same time that we can use both armies. And it does not appear we will. Oh, that's the Western Army. Ooh, there's the Army of Indiana, and we've only got 18,000 men. We are outnumbered 2-1. Stranger things have happened. Let's try it. Alright, well, as I looked at the battlefield, I looked at the morale situation. I decided that it was the better part of wisdom to withdraw from that one. I would rather put myself in an advantageous position in the West, where I can win a decisive victory, than allow myself to get whittled down to almost nothing in an army that has already seen a lot of combat in the West. And I'm very close to passing Militia 3, which is going to finally allow me to build up decent armies. So I think I'd rather hold off, and even if it means I have to fall back into Arkansas a little bit. Okay, the Army of the Shenandoah under Adelbert Ames, the man who at this time historically was the, well, he was gonna be the colonel of the 20th Maine. The 20th Maine didn't even exist yet at this point, but that's what he became. But he is going to find himself heavily outnumbered in this one, which is exactly what I was hoping for. The Battle of Fredericksburg. This should be fun. Well, I was hoping we'd actually be on the Fredericksburg battlefield. I don't even know if that's a map on here, but we're at Chancellorsville, which is fine. We're going to have the numbers. We have an opportunity here to be aggressive, but being aggressive in a pretty difficult map in which to maneuver. So we're going to have to load up in one spot here, because the entire army has to go through this one road to get out the rest of the battlefield. So that's just the reality. So we're going to load them all up right there to start. And then we're just going to try to be aggressive and go at him wherever he is. He's going to probably meet us. I mean, he's already holding this, so probably around Chancellorsville somewhere. Okay, so we've reached the end of day one. Our reinforcements have arrived, our second army, the Army of the Shenandoah. So now we've got a major advantage, but again, the terrain is not the best for what we want to accomplish here. So I'm going to try to keep, I think what we'll do is we'll actually bring Lee's army down here. All right, there he is. So we actually spotted him when I started redeploying here. Yeah, so we're going to have to fight through the wilderness and the the woods here. It's not the best place to have an army, especially for artillery. But we'll build in right along here. We'll hold his army at bay, and then I think I'll try to swing around with Joe Johnston over here. So, cool fact, Joe Johnston and Robert E. Lee were in the same graduating class at West Point. They both graduated the same year, and Joseph Johnston is actually the only general on either side who was a field army commander who was a general in the U.S. Army before the war. He was I think he was like the quartermaster general, so he had the rank, I think, of brigadier general in the regular army before the war started. Lee and Albert Sidney Johnston were in the same regiment before the war. Albert Sidney Johnston was the colonel of the 2nd Cavalry, and Lee was the lieutenant colonel. So, we're going to hold these guys back, actually. I'm going to hold Hardy. That's cavalry anyway, so I'll use them as mounted infantry. And then we're going to swing these guys around if I can. All right, so we're pretty well into position, except for my guns. I'm trying to get them up on this clearing up here, so we've got somewhere to fire from. But we're pretty well in position with Lee's army. And now we're moving Johnston's army in. And we're going to put them in along a line right here. And then I might even swing a couple divisions back around Hazel Grove and see if we can't get in behind him. I'm thinking he's going to probably pull back, though. All right, so about 50 casualties on my side, 60 on his side, mostly from just the artillery duel that's happening. I'm trying to get these guns back here, but these guys decided to move along that side of the river and then try to cross, and they're just exhausted. I've got the trap pretty well set. I'm ready to spring it. But I'd also like to go grab some of these objectives, so I'm going to send Stuart's cavalry out to grab the... Well, it looks like there's only one objective. So let's go ahead and start bringing the mighty special forces around a little bit more. I'll bring Zolikofer's division down right here. And I'm just going to start squeezing the trap ever so gently. And I'll hold right here along this line with these guys. I'm taking my time because there's been a lot of movement, especially for Johnston's army. So I'm concerned about their exhaustion level, though it looks like right now their cohesion's good. Their rest level seems to be good too. They seem pretty rested, so maybe we're okay. I send Jubal early, pushing forward toward McClelland over here. Not to be confused with George McClellan. This is McClelland. But this is a tough place to fight, this wilderness, man, because artillery is so ineffective here. Okay, we've once again hit end of day. That's actually ideal, because now I can redeploy. We're going to be fresh, and now I feel like we will be in the perfect position to attack. I'm going to stretch these guys out just a little bit. Sibley actually doesn't even have anybody yet in his division. We're going to just keep pushing forward here. Alright, I might shift Pickett over just a hair more. I'm keeping the double line just because with the numbers that I have that advantage to be able to not put all my guys on the front lines. Oh, he built some fortifications up here, and he is ready for me. So I'm actually going to push now up with Withers. Get right up into his rear. We'll bring Stonewall Jackson's division, the Sexy division, up. And we'll just kind of hold tight up here on his front. Oh yeah, we've got those Enfield Musketoons now for the 5th VMR, so they've got a nice long range. I'm going to move up to the creek here because that'll give me some protection as I fight from the front. I'm not going to attack these fortifications. What is Helm doing? There we go. Let's get Hobson out here on this side. We'll just use our guns and just fire on the fortifications for now. We're going to try and come up at him from the soft underbelly of his line if I can. This is not ideal here because Jones is going to have flanking fire coming down on him, so we're going to have to move Preston up to help out here. What's happening on this side? Rex's Raiders. Got the Hungarian Impalers here. I'm actually going to bring them out a little bit on this side. So these skirmishers, he sent some skirmishers over there to get these guns that I had previously taken out. It's really slow movement through these woods. It makes it difficult. Everything takes a while. I don't want to move on these fortifications though. Starting to shift back. We're going to have this guy encircled at this rate. This could be a major event here if we can do this. And grab that objective. Actually, what I want to grab are these retreat points for him. I'm going to send this infantry brigade back here to grab the other one. Although he may be breaking before I even get to that point. This is going to be really ugly. It's bad enough for him when the odds are even, but when they're heavily in my favor numerically, look out. I'm gonna hurl Rex's Raiders and Hobson's Hungarian Impalers at this brigade. 2 brigades surrendered or disintegrated. Yeah, this is an annihilation in the making for the Union Army. Delbert Ames, not looking good for you, my friend. And I've always been a fan of his, historically. I should have thought sooner to grab those points. Alright, he's pulling out of the fortifications now, but he's going to go right into the other side and have nowhere to go. This is going to get interesting here in a minute. Yeah, these guys are never going to make it down there in time. Yeah, where are you going to go? Oh, he's only going to have 4 minutes before his retreat's complete? Oh, these casualties are going to be obscene, though. Absolutely obscene. Alright, well, not as obscene as I would have liked or I thought they would be. But 1,600 for me and 6,000 for him. It's a minor Confederate victory, but it's another victory in Virginia, which is key for me. Well, they're calling it a narrow victory at Fredericksburg. Let's take a look for just a second at where things stand. He's got about 38,000 more men than I do. The Army morale is actually pretty similar. National support's still pretty high. His national morale is at 73. And honestly, considering the number of battles we fought, the overall total casualties, only 19,000 for me and 37,000 for him, seem pretty small. I feel like there have been more casualties than that. But that's what it's showing right now. So we've got 195,000 men fielded. 19,000, or about 10%, have been casualties. We've only got about 24,000 available recruits to us, but that is about to change because we're going to get Militia Act 3 here in just a few days. Okay, here we go. Confederacy extends contracts to 3 years. Let's see if there's an instant impact that happens or if it's going to take a while for that to happen. I'm also looking at what else we might do. We're going to get a 10% bonus to recruits and a 20% reduction to the cost of supplies if I do the Impressment Act. It'll reduce support by 3, but I can handle that. Free Trade Act, 20 days, will give me a plus 10 to European relations. That'd be helpful. Civilian warships, not entirely sure that is necessary for us right now. Keeping an eye on the finances as well. I can't pass any new acts because I'm maxed out on those. So that would require me to invest another 200,000 in politics, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world if I decide to do that. I'm maxed out on industry right now and recruitment. But let's take a look real quick and see if there was any kind of an instant addition to our recruitment. No, but it'll probably happen over time. I'm waiting for Sweets' army to get close enough to Pensacola so we can start building supply here. I think we're probably there, so we'll go ahead and start building supplies. Alright, we have another policy available. Diplomacy 3 would allow the import of 6-pounder Whitworth rifles and ironclad turret ships, but not much else. Military 2 allows me to have core, but that's all it really mentions there. Industrialization 3, let's see. Heavy industry more profitable, increasing the supply of goods and encouraging further expansion. That might be something we want to do too, but that's 45 days to do that one. You know what? I think here's what we're going to do on this one. I am going to pose this to the War Council. So everyone who is at the, I think it's the lieutenant rank on up on Patreon. We've done this in the past with Hearts of Iron 4, but I'll go ahead and do it with this as well. I'm going to pose the question, what should be our next policy? Now, there's a difference between things like printing notes and stuff like that that we can do anytime. But so we're going to pose the option, should we go free trade, which will give us plus 10 to European relations, maximum tariff rate increase, free trade, diplomacy 3, which allows 6-pounder Whitworth, ironclad turret ships, military 2, which we've already talked about, impressment 25 days, or government funding 2, which will help the credit rating, or industrialization 3. So I'm going to throw that as a vote over on Patreon. Let me know what you think, and we will be back in a couple of days with the answer and the next episode. Thanks for watching.